When she first found Simon, Emma thought he was the cutest thing in the world. He was sitting upright in the far corner of the attic, half covered by a dusty sheet, his glassy black eyes staring straight ahead. He was old, that much was obvious. His fur was worn in patches, one button eye was a little loose, and a seam ran awkwardly along the back of his head, as if someone had once opened him up and stitched him shut again. Emma was 8, and she loved teddy bears. When she picked him up, he was heavier than expected, dense in a way that made her pause. But she hugged him tight anyway and brought him downstairs. Her mother was surprised. "We haven't been up there in years. I don't remember that bear at all," she said, eyeing Simon warily. "Are you sure you want him? He looks a little old." "I love him," Emma declared, and that was the end of it. Simon quickly became Emma's favorite. He sat beside her at the dinner table, tucked in under her arm during bedtime stories, and sometimes even rode in the back seat during errands. He smelled like old books and cedar, and sometimes, late at night, Emma thought she could hear him creak when he moved. Her parents joked that Simon was her shadow. She gave him his own blanket and whispered secrets to him under the covers. But over time, odd things started to happen. It began with the music box. Emma had a little pink music box shaped like a castle. It played a slow, sweet tune when wound, but one night it started on its own, a slow, winding click, then that soft, tinkling melody drifting into her room just past midnight. She woke up and sat up in bed. The music box was on the shelf, closed. Simon was sitting beside it. "Did you do that?" she whispered. Simon, of course, said nothing, his head tilted slightly to the side. The next day, the music box was gone. They found it hours later in the freezer. Her parents thought it was a prank. Emma insisted she didn't move it. Her mother laughed it off, but her father looked at Simon a little longer than usual that night before walking away. More things started to disappear. A bracelet, a sock, a set of batteries. Always small things, things you might misplace. Until Emma woke up one morning to find her favorite storybook torn to pieces on the floor. Simon was sitting in the middle of the torn pages, his arms open. Emma cried. She told her parents Simon had done it. Her mom sighed. Her dad picked up the pieces and threw them in the trash. "Maybe it's time Simon took a little nap," he said. That night, Simon was moved to a shelf across the room. That was the first night Emma had the dream. In the dream, her room was dark, darker than real night, and the shadows pulsed along the floor. She sat up in bed, and Simon was no longer on the shelf. He was standing on the floor, just a foot tall, but upright like a little soldier. He turned his head slowly. His eyes gleamed, and then he began to walk. His steps were soft, cloth against carpet, but steady, purposeful. As he reached the edge of the bed, he stopped and tilted his head. "Don't leave me," he whispered. Emma screamed and woke up drenched in sweat. The next morning, her parents told her it was just a nightmare. Her dad even laughed, though it sounded nervous. "I'll put him away, just to be safe," he said. Simon went into a box that afternoon, sealed with packing tape and placed in the attic. That night, Emma slept soundly for the first time in weeks, until she heard the thump. It was soft at first, barely there, but it grew louder. Thump, thump, a dragging sound, slow and wet across the ceiling. Then silence. Emma curled under her blanket, heart racing. The air in her room felt heavy, like the walls were closing in. The silence dragged on until tap. A soft sound, right against the window. Then again, tap, tap. Emma turned her head, her breath caught. Simon was sitting on the windowsill on the outside. His head was tilted. His button eye hung lower than before. She screamed. Her parents rushed in, turned on the lights. But the window was locked, and nothing was outside. Just wind, they said. Just a dream. But Emma knew better. The next day, her father drove Simon far away, to a secondhand store in the next town over. He didn't tell Emma, but she saw the empty box in the trash and knew he was gone. For 3 days, everything was quiet. Then, on the 4th night, Emma woke up to find Simon sitting at the foot of her bed. His fur was damp, dirty, and something sharp was poking through his back seam, like a sliver of rusted metal. Her father denied bringing him back. Her mother cried. But Emma didn't speak. She just sat in her bed, watching Simon. That night, the dream came back, but this time, Simon climbed onto her bed. His stitched smile was longer, his glass eyes darker. "You tried to leave me," he whispered. "I don't like that." The next morning, Emma's voice was gone, completely gone, like someone had taken it in the night. The doctors were baffled. Her throat was fine. She wasn't sick, but she couldn't speak. Her parents were shaken. They took Simon outside and burned him in a fire pit. The bear curled as the flames took him, and for a moment, they thought they heard something, like a long, slow sigh. Emma watched silently from her window. Weeks passed. Her voice returned slowly. She started smiling again, and for a time, things felt normal, until the night her baby cousin came to stay. He was just 2, barely talking, and couldn't sleep without a teddy bear. Her parents brought one from a nearby thrift shop, a soft brown bear with old stitching on its back and a little tag that simply read, "Hello, my name is Simon." Emma dropped the bear the moment she saw it. It had no eyes, not yet. But that night, she saw something small and shadowy move through the hallway. It was carrying 2 buttons. Tap, tap.